Hello all, my name is Tahira Mitchell. The cannabis plant has been around for quite some time. According to Marijuana, a reference handbook by David Newton, there is evidence of the cannabis plant dating all the way back to the Neolithic period. In the 21st century, marijuana is once again making headlines with controversy regarding states decriminalizing marijuana, along with possible changes to legislation. There are states that have legalized marijuana, but we will touch on that subject later. Outside of the U.S. borders, many nations have begun decriminalizing marijuana, allowing their citizens to possess small amounts of marijuana for personal use, leaving many U.S. citizens wondering why this has become a huge debate within our country. Over the last couple of decades, public opinion polls have shown that the acceptance rate along with the use of marijuana has significantly increased among U.S. citizens. Marijuana has become more commonplace through pop culture and media. As a college student, I was first introduced to weed, my freshman year, of course. Coming from a sheltered home, this was all new to me. It was surprising how easily you can get your hands on it and how many students were actually participating in it. After seeing that people who smoke marijuana didn't fit into these stereotypes, that is when my personal views on marijuana started shifting. Today, we will briefly learn about a couple legal terms, current marijuana legislation, then I will end on what changes are being made to legislation. First, I will tell you the difference between the terms decriminalization and legalization. I will also tell you about the current marijuana laws in Georgia along with the penalties for related offenses. According to the Cambridge educational film titled Marijuana, marijuana is actually the most widely used illegal drug in the United States. They also give us two different terms along with their definitions. Decriminalization is a policy defined as, and I quote, that the most severe penalties currently assessed for possession of marijuana will be eliminated. Legalization, on the other hand, is defined as legal penalties of any kind against use of the drug will be eliminated. According to the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, the penalties for marijuana offenses in the state of Georgia include possession, cultivation, and intent to sell. In Georgia, possession of less than an ounce of marijuana is a misdemeanor with a fine up to $1,000 and possible imprisonment. Possession of more than an ounce is considered a felony. For other serious offenses, you can be incarcerated for up to 40 years. Secondly, I will tell you about the 21 states that have legalized medicinal marijuana, along with the 2 states that have legalized marijuana for recreational use. I will also name a couple of the federal laws pertaining to marijuana. Surprisingly, almost half of the country has moved forward in changing marijuana laws. Some of the states that have legalized medicinal marijuana so far include California, which was also one of the first states to legalize medicinal marijuana, Nevada, Oregon, New Jersey, and several others. Washington and Colorado have taken it a step further with legalizing recreational marijuana use. Do note that although a state may have eliminated their state-level penalties, this does not override federal laws, and you can still be penalized on the federal level. Some federal laws pertaining to marijuana include the Controlled Substance Act, the Boggs Amendment, and the Marijuana Tax Act, which imposes a tax on the sale and distribution of cannabis. These laws are quite broad. You can later research them further. Lastly, I will tell you about the state's pending legislation and some of the effects of pop culture on marijuana acceptance. There are 15 other states that are pending legislation for legalizing medicinal marijuana, including Georgia, Florida, and New York. The next step for most states is most likely to follow the lead of Colorado and Washington by legalizing recreational use as well. Whether it is a good thing or a bad thing, we'll leave moral judgment out of it, but pop culture has a significant effect on public opinion. Between celebrities openly admitting to marijuana use, showing marijuana use on movies and TV shows, even in music videos, marijuana just doesn't seem like a bad thing anymore. What's the big deal, right? In conclusion, we see that our country is slowly but surely making changes to the marijuana laws, reducing efforts on the drug war, a war that many claim cannot be won. I am sure many of you know people who use marijuana at some point or another. Any of them face penalties for marijuana? Personally, I don't know enough. I don't have enough fingers to count the people I know that use marijuana. Must I add they are all productive members of society? You have to ask yourself, are you for the cause or against the cause? Marijuana use is no longer a taboo fad. It has become a household name and it has become routine in millions of Americans' lives. Cannabis has been around for a long time and it's not going anywhere anytime soon.